Welcome to the Evening Gamer. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Guy. Welcome, everybody. New
Welcome
episode.
back.
Here we
That's
are.
it.
Get it.
I feel like I haven't said that in a while.
Well, you haven't. I've been gone for 3 weeks. It's been an eternity. Things have changed.
Done the old... I think we spoke briefly about your trip. You were going
we did.
very far north. You made a joke about the wall. I remember that.
Yeah, that's right. A little Game of Thrones reference. Speaking of which, my missus was watching it on the plane. She's actually finally getting into it. No, somehow missed the Game of Thrones, but now she's enjoying it, which is nice to see.
Well, so did
Wait till
Mel.
she gets to the last season.
Because, I've been watching Rick and Morty again on HBO. And obviously with everything on HBO, you get the... at the beginning. The grey screen and the...
Yeah.
And I'm like... Every time after hearing that, I just want to go dun 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 dun.
Oh, mate, that was
that's
a time.
What I'm so
that was a time.
Trained
we used to watch
hear.
Game of Thrones and Rick and Morty, and we would debate which one would you watch first. You'd go Rick and Morty probably second because you knew Game of Thrones was probably going to have some murdering going on. But man, that was a golden period of like 4 or 5 years of just Rick and Morty, Game of Thrones released around the same time, and you'd probably torrent it maybe a little bit. I didn't, but people would.
Yeah, and we used to watch it on a Monday, and I remember this is before COVID and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this was Mondays were actually, I used to look forward to them because he's still in the office Monday to Friday. Remember that? Remember that?
Yeah.
That used to be a thing.
To be honest, I don't want to remember it.
And I just remember I used to look forward to Mondays so much because R&M and a bit of fucking HBO special, Game of Thrones. But yeah, so she's watching it. Is she enjoying it?
She's watching it. Yeah, she's enjoying it. I think she's getting towards the end of the first season, so she's got a long way to go. And she's sort of saying she wants me to watch it, and I don't know, I just can't go back there. It's after that last season, I've closed the door on it. Can't do it.
I probably could. I reckon I could do a second.
Mate, I don't know.
Second squeeze.
There's other things I'd rather watch. I'd just go into my head, go, no, I'd rather watch this, rather watch that, and redo that one. But we've got Stranger Things coming out soon. Apparently, Stranger Things currently is in every season's in the top 10 of Netflix shows going on at the moment, which is interesting. I have
enjoyed every season they've done.
Yeah. I think it's been a great show. I'd rewatching it, when they're kids, their acting is at times a little bit on a rewatch hokey, but nonetheless, it is a good show. I did see the director of Avatar, James Cameron. He was saying that he doesn't think Netflix movies should be considered for, I think it was the Academy Awards or whatever it is, because they don't have a theatrical release. Movies should go to theaters to get box office, bums on seats, and then they're the only ones that could be considered. And Netflix is kind of, because at times, how many Netflix movies come out, and the vast majority of them are Netflix, I don't think, or they've ended up on Netflix because they were fearful it wasn't going to be good enough to have a run in the cinemas, or something like that. I actually thought it was a really good idea. I didn't mind it.
What, in terms of everything has to go through the movie theatre?
No, that just for the Academy Awards or whatever it is, they have to have a theatrical release to be considered,
Nah, I used to... Why do you want that? For the tradition of it? Or do you think it's better for the industry?
Well, not maybe so much better for the industry. It's just the quality of cinema at the moment, that we're getting blasted with so much content, and a lot of it is not great content, And in the 90s, you look back at the box office on any weekend in the 90s, you'd have all these all-time movies going up against one another, and ones that went under the radar, that years later got a cult following. But it's just sort of that. I enjoy going to the movies. It's not to say I think Netflix is redundant. We do away with it, but I just think it was an interesting idea that to receive awards, you got to play in the high level. It's I almost feel like going to the cinemas, would be the equivalent of fucking the Ashes. And then Netflix is your run of the mill Big Bash. It's how I would define it.
I hear you.
Just to go with cricket terminology, it's that time of year.
Yeah, I get ya. If I was an actor that had only done Netflix specials, though, I'd have I'd have a different opinion.
Yeah,
but I don't know, like, yeah. No, I think that's a decent point. You know what I've been watching that's actually really, really good is Welcome to Derry.
Yeah, I'm aware of that one.
He is becoming my favourite supernatural villain. Like, what they've done with old mate that plays him, I'm not even going to attempt to remember his name. But
he's one of the Skarsgårds. Is he actually playing it again in the TV show?
So he's owning this. He's like making this whole legacy thing. Like they got him for it. He's doing it, and he acts it so well. And just Pennywise, as like a supernatural villain, is just top notch. The yellow eyes, the way they present, because this is a prequel. Welcome to Derry is a prequel of like where he came from and how he kind of rules the sewers and the underground, literally, of this town.
Yeah,
and it is so good because it's not trying to. What I love about it is it's not trying to scare you in like a supernatural way. It's trying to fucking freak you out, and it actually does it. If you know the distinction there, like I'm not scared, but like it's a really like confronting. He's a really confronting villain. And like they've kept all the the tricks that he has like really consistent. It's a good show. Really been enjoying that.
That's a little recommendation. I mean, I don't know if it'll be my cup of tea. I mean, isn't it dude an alien? Isn't that the backstory?
That's the whole thing. Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Correct.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I read an article about it. I read an article.
Yeah.
About it,
I mean, you find that out. That's super early.
I did tons of watching on the plane while I was over there. I did the new Jurassic World, Naked Gun, Ballerina. And then I did Fury. Fury, man, is such a good movie. It's so
one of the best. Like, is it underrated, you reckon?
I reckon it is. Like, it is all-time cinema. So good. I love watching it. The first time they have a tank battle and they got a Panzer, like, fucking firing these, shots out of the tank at them. You got people getting blown apart. It's almost like akin to Saving Private Ryan where they do D-Day. I was sitting there and going, like, to me, it was almost the same as, well, not quite as high, but like when the Dune worms come out, you could just get like the shivers down your back when you hear the noise and the ricochets. It's so good.
But also, like, I was a huge Shia LaBeouf fan.
Shia LaBeouf, yeah.
LaBeouf.
So am I, man. Yeah, like I like him. He seems like he's got,
he's had his moments.
He's had his moments.
Certainly, obviously, moments we don't agree with, but in terms of an actor. Hell of an actor. And like that cast that they had was just like it embodied what I would expect a battalion or a platoon or whatever you call those little groups of soldiers. Battalion?
Yeah.
What
a battalion's probably larger. Even a platoon's larger. Like they're just like a squad, like a tank squad.
Yeah. And they're just, you're right. And like, I feel like Brad Pitt is just a generational actor. Like everything he touches. Like I watched Inglourious Bastards with Mel again, maybe like 8 weeks ago. Oh, just all time. He is unmatched, that bloke. And he's in the new F1 movie as well. Did you watch that? Have you seen that?
I have seen it. Yes, I did have some minor grievances with some of the specifics of it a little bit, but as a movie, fine. Popcorn flick kind of thing. But yeah, you were gonna. What are you about to say?
I was just gonna say thank you for being with us again. We're a gaming podcast. We talk about games. Sometimes we go on tangents and talk about movies. But thank you for being here. If this is your first episode or your 59th, wow, welcome back. We got a hell of an episode. I'm going to steal the agenda from him again. We're doing a review today. We're talking about Silksong. I've been playing it. Pretty good game. We're going to deep dive. Corporate jargon, you like that? Deep dive into that. We're keeping around the grounds. We've got some news to talk about, a little bit on Fungies, some emails coming in, but most importantly, we're also doing a catch-up, guy. Catch-up on what we're playing, how the US was, what's been happening.
All right. That's a hell of an agenda. I mean, you and I were talking about trying to cut these episodes down, and we've just like chin-wagged for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you want to cover off first, T? You've got the agenda. Where do you want us to head?
Well, actually, I actually want to do a quick corrections. We got an email from Andrew on the Central Coast after last episode. We were speaking about roguelikes or roguelite. What's the right thing? Where did this come from?
We're talking about Iron Cowboy.
Yes, Iron Cowboy, the one and only.
Yes.
Andrew from the Central Coast.
The one and only.
He emailed us in, and to be fair, both are correct. Roguelites and roguelites are both correct. The adaptations of kind of the colloquialism around that, if you will. They both refer to kind of different game makeups, but the whole premise of a rogue game or a roguelike game comes from the original Rogue from 1985, which was like a dungeon over, top down, obviously much older game, like a real retro Arcadian game.
Retros, right. Looking at the photos.
And I love hearing, because that's like game theory, isn't it? Like, that's like gaming theory right there. Like, that is.
Well, I mean, the games of today are on the shoulders of these games. Like,
yeah, exactly. And that's just such a cool thing to know. I'm assuming that this dungeon game called Rogue kind of birthed the whole thing that we know now of rogues, of the one death, the permadeath element of it, having to do it in one run through, it being really challenging. But yeah, there you go. That's where the saying roguelikes and roguelites come from. Thank you, Andrew.
There's some trivia. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. That's great trivia there.
Yeah, if you've got any other I don't know, like hints or like game theory or anything like that about anything we've discussed, I love learning about that. Email us, info@theeveninggamer.com.au. Back to you, Guy. How's things been?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know how much people want to actually hear about my bloody holiday through Europe. I mean, they're not exactly here to hear about my holiday travels. Although I'd love to do like a TV show of just Guy going through Europe or wherever, doing an adventure show. It'd be like, that's got to be one of the best jobs. I had a good time, man. Had a great time.
Nice. I think you're right as well. Like, the guys that do Top Gear, when they did their specials of going through, were hilarious. Some of the funniest TV ever. All right, well, let's hook into news. I know you've got a few things you want to talk about. I can go first, though, because there's a big one that I don't know how much we want to harp on about it, but another GTA delay, which our listeners would definitely have heard about. I'm not sure how much you've been partying. Pushed again.
Yeah, it has been pushed again. No, I've been keeping up to date with the news, and I think I saw a headline, something about they made a whole bunch of developers redundant, and they've now signed something, they want to be rehired. It's seeming, a little bit sort of murky of sort of the crunch. We've talked about it before, it's always a really tough topic to kind of wrangle, because it's like, you as the consumer, you go, yeah, look, I want the game, and you want it to be delivered well. But then on the flip side, you've got, the employees get slammed pretty hard to land the plane. It's a tough one, that one.
Do you reckon, do they actually work? Like, are these hours just ridiculous? Or is it just like everyone else that has a job these days? Like, no, that's a serious question. I'm not taking it.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I think it's probably written into their contracts. There is, extensive, and I think those industries, probably the gaming one, leverage a little bit of like the art, the craft of it. Of these designers and graphic designers, they're keen to, do a good job, and kind of. Yeah, and they might say like, right, guys, everybody close off at 6 o'clock, and you'll probably have those people in there going, nah, I want to do a good job. Like, I really believe in this game. It's GTA. Like, I love this. I'll work an additional hour. Maybe. They want to be part
of that, essentially. And actually, that's a great segue into Game of the Year. So nominations are out now, obviously, and I say that intentionally. Obviously, Expedition 33 is among them. Yes. Now, you sent me a clip the other day of, must have been a lead developer or a team leader or some sort of top dog over at that company that kind of gave this speech about how they cared about their developers, they cared about the game, they cared about the gamers, and that's how they developed such a good product. Yeah. I just, there's so much noise around really poor working conditions for developers these days. I'm not sure how much of it to believe, because I feel like everyone complains about their job a little bit, right? You caught me on a bad day, you'd think I'd work at a shit company. It's a great company. But everyone just has their days where they feel like they're overworked, a lot's going on, nothing's going their way. I don't know. I'm not a developer, so maybe I'm just way too far away from it.
I just think there is enough now news and reports coming out on this. Because I think it's an industry that largely, was there's been so many headlines about dodgy working conditions and job security, and then there was the whole Activision sexual stuff that went on and the boys club. Like, I think that there's a lot of smoke, enough for there to be a fire of go. I think in that industry in America, it's not a great working environment if you're developing games. Which is a shame.
I think the layoffs were in the UK though.
What, for GTA?
Yeah, for Rockstar. I'm not even sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's always difficult to tell what we know and what we don't. Hey, I might just do my last news one before handing over to you.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Black Ops 7, not doing well. I believe their player count is as low as they've seen in at least 12 years, which I think, if we're talking 2013, would have been another Black Ops, I reckon, because I reckon that would have been shortly after one of the Modern Warfares, or the Modern Warfare 3, or whatever the futuristic one was after the second Modern Warfare. I reckon their 2013 release was another Black Ops. Black Ops does not seem to be hitting the mark.
No, they're like they've gone this whole like crazy futuristic kind of like not as realistic, and it seems like people who play first person shooters are kind of really down for the realism elements of it. I know Apex was sort of a different kind of futuristic kind of style about it, but that was what they were going for. And it was, I think the gameplay was just so tight that's what made it so good. In Fortnite and all those kind of battle royales and multiplayers, if they've got a good art style and they stick to it, it's just, for whatever reason, Black Ops kind of feels like they're doing it again. It's a few years later. If you were to say, what's the difference between this Black Ops to me and then Advanced Warfare 1 or 2 or whatever they're up to, I'd go, look, like, I don't know, man. Like, I've dropped off that train so long ago for good reason, because it is just the same old same.
Well, I've seen some of the game modes, and it actually, the Black Ops game looks like a bit of a joke. Right. Like, when you'd play like a particular season of, I don't know, Fortnite or Apex, and there'd be a gun in there that, I don't know, like, let's just say it was like almost like a automatic rifle grenade launch, and you'd be like, what's this doing in the game? It's just ruining it. It just seems like that across the board for Black Ops, from what I've seen, from what streamers are saying, from the clips I've seen on Instagram. It doesn't look enjoyable. It looks like quick death. It looks like they've tried to make a really poor attempt to go to movement tech and like make it really jumpy and really, really fast paced and really high energy, because that seems to be where all these games are going. Apex Legends,
where they're going,
has you covered for that. No one else needs to do it. The flying around, the teleporting, the tap strafing, the jumping, all that type of stuff, it's in Apex Legends. No one else should be trying to replicate it, because they're not going to do as well as Respawn did, in my opinion. And I just think COD, mix it up, but that's the wrong way to mix it up, and it for sure has not done well.
I mean, look at the player count. I was reading some articles about the player count compared to Battlefield, and Battlefield's still beating it, which does not bode well for them.
No, not at all. And I think we picked this. Right, we said this is a perfect time to bring out another BF, because we spoke about this decline of COD, and it's like it is now showing on the charts. So
I just think that they've got to kind of pack it in, and but like it's all about the money. Like clearly year on year people are buying their games and getting into it. But I just think post COVID, we're now coming into this year, next year, the games being announced. There is so much more variety. There's so much more quality. I think gamers are certainly picking where they're putting their money, because there's also inflation, and this kind of, I don't know, Battlefield just seems to be the better option this time around. It probably deserves its kudos for it.
And as someone that's playing it and almost finished the campaign, I can tell you it looks great. So that's coming soon as well.
Nice, mate. I'm keen
over to you, mate. Any headlines?
Well, so like there's the announcement of the Steam machine, and there was a lot of talk about where that was going to get priced. So this is, a lot of people thought it was going to be a little bit in the console wars, and there's a lot of talk around rolling back in the console wars as the PS, the Sony option has won that war. But no, Valve's saying that this is going to be more sort of a PC kind of pricing than a console pricing. So it's sort of almost puts it in the, like, maybe not top end, but, almost as buying a tower computer. There's a huge industry growing in. I mean, look at the stock market for the, whatever that company who designs not rigs themselves, but the chips, in computers. Like
NVIDIA?
In NVIDIA. They're blowing up the stock market. It's crazy. So it makes sense for Steam to go into that market. So that's obviously a big point.
Is it meant to be a handheld though?
No. That was the Steam Deck. So this is now the sort of desktop version, if you will.
Right.
We've probably got a lot more sort of GPU backing into it. What else on my list? So Half-Life 3, there's a lot of whispers about that, speaking of Steam and Valve. So Half-Life 3, the game that probably originally got me into gaming. My brother will be probably all across this, as that was obviously a favourite game of his. So if they announce it, geez, I don't think it'll be on the same level as a GTA, but it will be not far off. The years that have been waited for this game, I think it'll be, and they're always so like creative and groundbreaking.
Yeah, they are.
It'll be big. It'll be big.
There's two games I remember from school time, or like early school time, and that is, one of them's Half-Life, the other's obviously Counter-Strike 3, and the other was playing the Aliens. Do you remember playing the Alien games where you have to hide from it and run around the spaceship? It came out at the same time as Half-Life, but they were they're super gothic, almost like sci-fi, obviously, but really similar games.
Quake? Are you talking about Quake?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, no.
I don't know. Yeah, let's not bog down in the is it this, is it that? We've done that before.
Hearing about a third Half-Life almost out is sick. And I know Elder Scrolls, there's whispers around that for 2027 as well. If you look 24 months down the road, it actually looks insane. You got Witcher, Fable, GTA, Half-Life 3, and Elder Scrolls. Like that is a generational lineup of games coming out in the next 2 years.
There's a fun fact, because often, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but did you know that in the Game Awards, they actually have a category for most anticipated game?
I didn't know. What is it?
Must
be GTA.
Well, no. So, I mean, obviously they haven't announced it yet. Next episode is a spoiler. We are going to devote the whole episode to going through the nominees and our opinions. And it's that time of year pre-December, because we're not far off on them getting announced, T. So we should get on that recording ASAP. But the most anticipated games, 007 First Light. Looks really cool. There's Marvel's Wolverine, which is sort of the Insomniac who's done all the Spider-Mans. They're doing a Wolverine game. And you've obviously got GTA 6 for sure. There's Resident Evil Requiem by Capcom. And obviously The Witcher, what are we up to? 5? 4?
4. 4. Because the third was Beast of the Hunt.
Beast of the Hunt. Yeah. Anyway, so you're right, man. Like the next
no, the Wild Hunt. Fuck. Sorry. Beast of the Hunt is an Apex reference, not the gaming thing. The Wild Hunt. I remember reading about it in the books.
Yeah. So we are. It is The Witcher 4. There is The Witcher 4. So you're right. There is a hell of a lot of games that are coming up. The only last two things on my news run sheet to go down is Dispatch, which is a Telltale game, has been getting a lot of sort of talking points. This is sort of a superhero workplace comedy game, and Telltale's got really good form in this area. They've sort of they do these episodic things where it's sort of they kind of release these sort of the next part of the story at a sort of with a price point, but they do it sort of over a period of time, and then at the end you can buy the whole package together. But they did like the Batman, the Wolf Among Us. They're also looking at the Expanse, doing a Telltale game of that in that sort of universe, which would be pretty cool. And they also, oddly enough, did Monkey Island, Tales of Monkey Island, way back in the day, which sort of is a game that many people probably remember from their childhoods. And lastly, Arc Raiders has been blowing up my newsfeed like crazy. We know Iron Cowboy's been given that a good old rip and highly recommends it. It might be one for you, me, and get the Tit team back together and get Kyle on board and give it a run. I've been trying to persuade my missus to do it, but she's bloody getting all up in, what is it called? Dreamlight Valley. So what up, Katarina, who, if you don't know about this game, man, check it out. You should get MJ onto it. There you go. This is, it's like The Sims. It's like The Sims, but for Disney characters.
Yes.
So you like build little houses. You got Mickey, demanding you to do X, Y, and Z. It's a thing. It's a thing. I've watched a little bit of it.
If people enjoy it, that's what gaming's all about. So fair play.
Hey, no judgment. No judgment.
100%.
Just I'd prefer her to play Arc Raiders. Just like
very true. Very true. It'd be good to have
She
a
is
hit
in
out.
earshot of me complaining on the pod, and we'll probably listen to this pod later and hear me
Can hear it
complaining.
giggling in the background. Speaking of Shane and Katerina, our
Yes.
friends down at Fungies, it's still happening. It's all going
Our
on.
good friends in Fungies, and so like our listeners, you probably heard us talk about these guys over the last few weeks, and look, they really supported us. They've given us a lot of time and sent us a lot of ideas that we've sort of probably picked up on, so we really appreciate that. So we are trying to give them some love back. They are an Australian sort of team down in Melbourne doing something really unique, and so we're sort of really keen for our listeners to check them out, and do purchase what they're pitching, because it's cool, it's unique, it's different. They actually wrote in and gave us a bit of a, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we referenced last time Stephen Bliss, but it's actually Stephen Bliss. And this guy, he's had a hell of a career. Like, this dude, I think he's pretty much attributed with establishing the GTA art style. He worked at Rockstar 15 years, 3 decades. And he worked on The Warriors. We've talked about that game before. LA Noire, I loved that game. That has some Australian linkages. Red Dead Redemption, which you can actually now play on your iPhone. They've recently released Red Dead Redemption, the original, and you can play it on your iPhone, which there's a little tidbit for you. I was half tempted when I was in Europe to crack the whip on my horse.
Nice.
But yeah, so what Fungies is, so it's profile pictures designed by an artist, and Stephen Bliss has done one of these things, and I was very tempted to get one of them, and you can then set it up on any of your Xbox, PS, wherever, Steam, and it's unique to you. And when you purchase it, like, no one else can get it, and there's a 50% commission that goes to the artist, which T and I, when we heard that, we really loved that component of it. So what they've done is they've actually given us a discount code. So if you go on their website, you go through the process, and then you put in EG25, you'll get a 25% discount on whatever it is, which basically makes it like $7.50 US, 15 Australian. So honestly, check it out, fungies.io. I've got one, T's got one, the missus has one, get amongst it.
Also, the US economy is not doing that well. It's like 1.5, so it'll be even less.
They need some Australians to pump their numbers.
It'll be like just over 10. No, but they're doing some great work, and as you said, give a lot back to the artists. Really, it's unique. As you said, it's unique. It's fantastic. So have a go, have a look. It's fungies.io. That's their website. FUNGEES. That's FUNGEES.io. Go check them out. Use EG25 for a discount if you're a listener of the Evening Gamer. Also, ping us. Ping us if you've heard about this, and if you're going to do it, we'll sort you out. But it's all Silksong.
Silksong, my friend, it's been nominated Game of the Year. I cannot wait to hear your review of it. And I also, in our next episode, we're going to obviously put it up against some of the other Game of the Year nominations. So maybe don't show your cards too much in terms of whether you think it'll win Game of the Year. But let's hear this review. I'm keen for it.
Let's do it. The 2025 September 4th Team Cherry, an Adelaide developer, an Australian developer release of Silksong. It's the second game in this franchise of the Hello Night. I'm not sure if there's going to be a third. The game was really, really good. I had a lot of fun. It's a cute little game, so let's get into it. Let's go through the pillars, where we started, where it all began.
The new pillars. Here we go.
Storyline. It's an action-adventure Metroidvania game. You ever played one of those?
I'm not a big fan of that kind of style where there's like levels to it. I gave Prince of Persia, which has got a bit of Metroid vibe about it. That was highly rated, but it's not my style. Like, I just don't vibe with that kind of style.
It's an interesting style. So Metroid style is essentially one big map, a little bit intricate. There's multiple ways to get to the same space. It's all connected, and essentially it's either built up or it's built across. That's essentially what a Metroid game is. In Silksong, you play a hornet that's been captured by bugs. You're a hornet that produces silk. You've been caught for your silk. You've been brought to this kingdom called Farloom, where you eventually escape your captors and end up kind of at the bottom underground of this kind of ancient city in which where your captors are on the surface. The game, make your way out. So there's a lot of top down, there's a lot of climbing, a lot of stuff like that. The big bad is someone that's called Grandmother Silk, who's essentially like this goddess that kind of took over this whole realm, this whole Farloom area. She has these followers that she calls weavers that essentially do all of her bidding for her, like go and pick up hornets that can produce silk, right? So that's essentially what this storyline is. Character development, very little character development. And I know we speak a lot about how we like to see protagonists go on all these arcs, but you're essentially a warrior. Like, you're already a very well-established warrior. Like, you're a fighter. They essentially kidnap the wrong person is kind of the premise of this game. Like, you're a real aggravator when you run into NPCs that are hostile. Like, you're up for the fight. There's not a minute in this game where you feel like you're out of your depth, although it can be challenging at times. So there wasn't too much of development of character. When you meet NPCs, you meet them with skepticism sometimes. There's some adoration towards foes. You have these kind of standoff moments with different foes, with big bosses where you feel like you're evenly matched and there's this mutual respect. But in terms of the character development this kind of Hornet goes on, not really a huge factor in the game.
Yeah, like you almost feel like those kind of games, character dev, it's that's not what they're aiming for. Like, that's not their kind of pitch, you know.
Exactly. Like, and I think that this is probably my first Metroid game I reckon since like Kirby's World.
Yeah, right.
Like way back on like an arcade or a Game Boy, right? Like,
I feel like they're having a revival at the moment. You know, like there's that one, and then there was also like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of punch ups, where like you've got like a few characters and they're kind of side scrolling as well, and that, you know, there's a bit of like a revival of those kind of old school games a bit. Yeah,
I agree. World build. There's 24 areas. Mostly up down, as I said. It's not really built side to side. I loved the art style. It's really simple. It looks really nice. It plays really well. The terrain that they built into this game, I really admired. Like, it doesn't follow seasons. It more follows settings is probably the best way to say it. Like, you start in a forest and then you make your way through a volcano, and then you make your way through a city during nighttime where it's like hailing and like pissing down rain. It's not really seasons. Like, so often in gaming we see seasons, right? Like, probably the top of the list is Zelda for me. Like, you go through the summer, the warm area, you go through the snow, you go through the forest. This game actually built a lot of different settings that felt like when you kind of entered a new chapter, it really was doing that. It's almost like you just flip the page and you know, from section to section, you're in a completely different area with completely different ASMR, completely different sounds. It really felt like,
that's cool,
when I played it with my headphones and really got into it at night, that I was completely immersed in the experience, which I really liked. A little bit of an annoyance that I think is just a factor in Metroid games or Metroid gaming is like sometimes having to go back, way back to get somewhere that's like 2 feet above you. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's that thing right there, but you can't jump to it. And you go back to your map and you're like, oh my God, this is like snakes and ladders. I've got to go kind of like 4 areas back and take the other entrance. And then I'll be there in like 10 minutes. And like that replayability to me, and that is kind of a world build design, just didn't tick like that box for me. Like I want it to be a little bit more like linear, if you will, and just make kind of from section to section flow really nicely. I found myself killing the same enemies and playing the same spots, you know, a lot of the time.
That just was the especially same with Prince of Persia, exactly the same. I put it down like within, I don't know, 10 minutes of playing it, because I was just like, I've just gone through the same area that many times. I don't feel like I'm improving that much and opening up new areas that much. It just didn't sit with me. Yeah,
and I think you could avoid this if you gave me an option of just like, hey, do you want to drop everything you've collected and we'll take you back to like the base level where the base hub is, and you can just go from there. That would save me half the time. Yeah, you know, because like there's no, it's not entertaining. There's no challenge there. I'm retracing my steps. I've done it. I can run it. I can speed run it. Right. So it's not like it's going to be a challenge for me to get there. It's literally just taking up time. And if I want to get to a new area, then I'll take the new route. But like, help me get. I don't know. It was like a small grievance. Was like, I remember there's this one area in the volcano where it's like I could draw this with my eyes closed now. Like that's how many times I'd gone like up and down. Where am I? Build. I'll go into mechanics first because I feel like that's a much smaller subcategory. Played really well. I played it on controller. And just to caveat to that, this is a sit back on your couch game to play. Like I played it on my PC. It's very much a sit back, relax, kind of like controller in hands. It'd actually be perfect for a Steam Deck or a Switch. I don't know if it's actually on Switch. I think it is. Get it on Switch, play it in bed, right? Like that would have been perfect because it's not demanding. It's not a physically demanding game. The mechanics were good. It was super, super smooth. The combos that you could do in terms of attacking were really great. There was a diverse amount of attacks that you could do as well. I feel like this is something you could play on a joystick. Like you're really only using like 3, 4, 5 buttons, maybe. Like my left hand. I was going to say something else there. I could have played this with one hand, is what I should be saying, right? The one thing though,
good save.
Is again like button mapping. I get it. Elite controllers exist. People play on PC. You can map out your mouse, whatever. Just build my button mapping into every game, man, so I can quickly do it on my controller. Like there was to throw a knife, because you could throw knives and like throwables. I had to switch to claw because it was like down D-pad, right trigger, and then right bumper, and it was just like, wait a minute. But if I'm moving at the same time, I have to kind of quickly switch to claw to do that. It was weird. Once I got the hang of it, beautiful. But just like little things like that are just like, they make you as the gamer become really aware of the effort that you start having to put in to play a pretty simple game. I don't know, but mechanically, like really good. As I said, smooth, felt good. Didn't lag once. You can sit back and enjoy it, not physically demanding. So really enjoyed that part of it. The build of the character, I was super surprised by this subcategory. Like they did it so well. They did this pillar so well, which is something I was not expecting. Like you think, a Metroid game where you're not behind your character, you're not in front of them, you're not above them. You kind of like, they're looking back at you almost, right? Yeah. Like into the screen, and you think, how much movement can you bring into a game like this? But they got super creative with it. There's different abilities that you can get. You can't sprint at first. That's an ability you get that opens the game up heaps. You can jump, slam, slash, swipe, throw. You can also heal yourself. Like when you kill enemies, you collect silk. So that like if you I think you start off with 5 health, and like every hit you get is either 1 or 2 of them. But the more hits you get on enemies, you can actually heal yourself with the B button as you go. You just use up all your silk. There's also a bit in early game where you collect like these little bone shards, and you take them to like an NPC who you're doing a side quest for, and she upgrades your what would you call it? I guess like your robe, quilt, if you will, so that you can float. So that when you're jumping off, you can actually float like a dandelion, like in the wind, and go
like a dandelion.
And I just remember at one point in the game, maybe like 15 hours in, being like, this is really good. Like from where this character started, now I'm maybe like 5 areas in. There are, like I've upgraded substantially. I have so many more attack options. My movement is better, and also those upgrades are allowing me. That like they make sense in the game. Like as soon as you get one, you're using it for the next boss, which is what I love. The cadence that they rolled upgrades out at, and how effective they were. Huge fan of that. You also collect rosaries along the way, which help you with your upgrades. In terms, I'll go into challenge and entertainment with that one, but the new gear was really good. Build was fantastic. You're constantly upgrading. The only thing I'll say about build, and I found this with Remnant 2, is I'm just going to straight up say this, and I'm going to die on this hill. Don't give me 1 amulet slot and then 50 amulets to choose from. I hate it. Do you know what I mean? It's like it just becomes overwhelming for me. I can only use one of them. I don't know which one to use. I know you want me to change my build as the game progresses and what I come up against. Yeah. But like for me, that is just decision fatigue. And like, I want to use them all, or as much of them as I can. Like, I don't, and I felt like, I don't know, that's maybe just a grievance of my own, but
that's such a unique grievance. That's so unique. There's so many games. There's so many games where you have, like you've got a one weapon option, like you can't, stack like every weapon you have. Like you usually, there's like a Diablo or this or that. I know what you mean though, where it's like if there's a lot of options, but like, yeah, I don't know. That's a niche grievance. You might be alone on that one.
I want to be really clear here. I'm not talking about weapons. I'm talking about like you'd get an amulet that's like, hey, rosary beads will, oscillate, if you will, for lack of a better term, towards you. You don't have to go and actually get them. Yeah. But then that same amulet spot would be taken up by, I don't know, when you heal 4 instead of 3, right? And there were heaps of different examples, and you're like, some of these could probably just be passive skills. Like, you're making me choose something that I've probably earned. Yeah. And then the sheer volume of amulets that can go into one spot. Like, you kind of just put one on and you forget about the other 49. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's, I don't know, less is more, and more is less potentially in that area.
One of your favourite sayings. Less is more. All right. Okay.
Challenge.
I hope you didn't mark it down in that category on that one too much.
No, I didn't. It was like a super afterthought. It's just like, I don't know, man. Give me like 3. Give me like 3 slots, like where I can kind of...
3 slots of amulets.
Or I can have 3 amulets at once.
Okay, you know what they should have done? They should have done like bracelets. An amulet, 2 bracelets, and then you get 3 options.
There you go.
All right.
Something like that. Challenge and entertainment. Side quests were good. They were called wishes. So you come across, there's a wish board at the main hub, which you could go back to. And as the story progressed, it would give you these optional missions you could activate at any time. They would take place in different areas, sometimes the earlier areas, sometimes the later areas. The rewards were pretty good. The enemies was really good. The variety of enemies, it changed so much. Like, this is a game that has 24 areas.
Yeah, wow.
Like, that's actually so dense. You know what I mean? And the areas took hours to get through properly. I reckon if you played this game in its entirety, you're looking at easily an RPG player time.
Wow, okay.
Like a third-person RPG game of like 30 to 40 hours, I reckon, for sure.
Yeah.
So a lot to do. So the enemies were really, really great. The one thing, it was actually challenging, especially early game. We don't have many abilities. The bosses were really balanced. You'd have to use all of your skills to get past them. As I said at the beginning, the areas differed quite a lot. The entertainment value of finding new things, like you'd find artifacts. Like, artifacts would have been split up and they're scattered amongst different areas. You'd find them as you went. There's a lot of hidden areas in this game, like tons, like crazy. If you're someone that likes hitting a wall randomly and there's something behind it, like, oh my God, this is the game for you. And like, there was one thing, like, I think it was about 10 hours in. For some reason, I just thought, if I fall off a ledge and even if it's water below me, I'm going to die. Yeah. But like 10 hours in, I figured out that I could swim. So like, I spent like the next 3 hours going back to all these areas where I could swim and found so many secrets, because the game's really good at hiding them from you. So if you like that part of it, you're going to absolutely love this game. Loot. I kind of touched on it already. You unlock powers as you go. You collect beads. You collect shards that help you with upgrades. They're also your currency. You find artifacts. When you find these artifacts, you return them to their owners. You often get new abilities. And the new abilities are really exciting. They often will allow you to access something that you hadn't been able to access, all that type of stuff. So all in all, really great game. Had a lot of fun playing it. Took me about just over 20 hours, I think. I started to speedrun the story towards the end. There are multiple endings at the end as well, and there's also an epilogue if you want to play that too. And a bit of a twist in the tale as you go on the journey with this Hornet, not from a character development perspective, but certainly from a storyline one. I would recommend this to any gamer. There's going to be a handful of gamers that this game is built for sure. But if you're a gamer like me, where you do some of the bigger liners and you like games that are physically demanding, this is 100% a game for late night on the couch where, I don't know, you're not feeling like a movie or you're not feeling like something else. This would be perfect. You know, you can pause at any time. You can find safe areas. You can play it with the controller. You can relax. All in all, really good release and completely deserving of its Game of the Year nomination for sure.
Fair.
And really good to see an Aussie developer, like, you know. And we spoke about how sequels, and I know this isn't a direct sequel, but it's certainly part of the same idea from what I've seen of Hollow Knight, even though I didn't play it. A really good release from the sequel front, from a really good Australian developer.
Yeah, nice, mate. Did you do the pillar scores? What's the overarching
score?
Of
course, man. Okay, so for storytelling, I've done storyline, character dev, and world build. Storyline 8, character development 6, world build 9. The only thing that it lost a mark for on the world build was just having to go back too often.
Yeah.
Make it a bit easier, man. Like, just make that a bit easier. I want to play forward, not backwards. And if I have to play backwards, I want it to be once, maybe twice.
I hear you on that one. That's a fair one.
So for storytelling, 7.6 out of 10, which is fair, pretty good. World building do a lot of the heavy lifting there.
Okay.
Gameplay, mechanics 10. I didn't mark it down at all for having to go claw.
Not even with the knife throwing that you were talking about before with the... Okay.
Nah.
And the way the controller was designed, the mapping or anything, you didn't mark it down there?
The reason why is I played on PC. I could have easily just gone and mapped my controller. I just chose not to.
Okay. All right.
I understand this is a very me thing to talk about, but I think it's because of my love for Souls games. Like, mapping is important in those games. It's got to be quick. Reactions have to be up there. So I didn't mark it down. So mechanics 10, challenge and entertainment 8, build 9, build one of the best pillars. The amulet thing did 100% drop a mark off there. Like, let me enjoy the things I find, man. Come on.
Yeah.
And loot 8.5. I thought the secrets and everything like that was pretty enjoyable. But you know, it's not like you're walking into every area and there's chests and you're finding new weapons. Like, you have one weapon basically the whole time. So 7.6 out of 10 for storytelling, 8.9 out of 10 for gameplay, which brings it in at a 7.9 out of 10 total.
7.9 total. 7.9, okay, all right.
So, like, it's an 8. It's 80%. It's a high distinction. Firstly, I just want to say that. It's a high distinction, so don't... Is it? No, it's a distinction. So don't freak out yet. But it's a valid question saying, well, is that worthy of a nomination for Game of the Year? It's like, I think it is. Like, we've said multiple times that we look at games as a full art form, and we know that a Metroid game is going to do all of them 100%. So we're trying to give you an honest representation of not how this game actually presents as what it is, but how enjoyable it might be for the average gamer based on all these different pillars. And I think 7.9 is absolutely fair. It's a very high mark. It's a good game. I'd recommend it to anyone.
All right, nice. Fair enough. Well, next week when we do our Game of the Year, episode, and like, we got a tight window because they do get announced on December 11th, so we got not far away before we'll get the results. So we'll have to chin in that episode soon. Some of the game releases coming up in December. We got Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which looks pretty interesting. There's one I reckon you should check out, called Routine. Which is a bit of a horror vibe. One that's pretty unique.
I need a good horror because I skipped old Silent Hill F for some reason. So I need a good horror in my life.
It's got some nominees in the Game of the Year, so it's worth checking out.
Nice.
Excuse me. And then we got Octopath Traveler 0, which I might put the missus on. I think she's done an Octopath in the past. And then there's Code Violet, which looks like a bit of a dinosaur shoot-'em-up kind of first-person shooter, which looks pretty cool. And Metroid Prime is actually first-person as well. Both of them look pretty interesting. One last, correct me if I'm wrong, we obviously spoke about Stephen Bliss just then and spoke about his GTA connections. He is one of the artists that does Fungi. That's the connection. We sort of, I don't know if we actually made that.
We did kind of brush over that a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like Shane's going to be sitting there going like, guys, you've missed the critical point there. But I think it is really cool. Like, if you do go on the website, you'll notice the art style matches the GTA art style. So basically, for $15, you can get a unique GTA style done by the artist in GTA. Like, if that isn't a selling point, I don't know. I'll eat my hat or something.
It's 100% a selling point. I'd love to see people buy Fungis and also you eat your hat. I wonder if there's a way we can make that happen.
If the hat is made of beer, which I'm sure they exist, I will. You don't even have to persuade me. Let's go back to
present at this point. Yeah.
You know, do you remember Scullen beers in Germany, in Munich?
Of course I do. That was more a you
I don't.
thing at
I
Oktoberfest.
don't.
Yeah, I know you don't. I do remember having buckets in Prague as well. You remember those buckets?
Oh, mate, those buckets. God.
Good
That's
Lord.
like, you know, if obviously we've done a little bit of travel, and I always feel bad, like, you know, we're putting this out into the world. If you don't get an opportunity to travel, you know, and you obviously, times are tough and you're gaming at the moment, it is obviously a nice opportunity. You know, I feel lucky to be able to travel and enjoy some of those experiences because, geez, you know, that trip was pretty unique. But I'm happy to be back, man. Like, coming back. Have you seen like 4 seasons in a day today? Sun,
it's crazy.
Rain, sun, rain. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Sydney's
just
wild.
fire warnings as well. It's mental. But
Anyway, T, wrap us up. Yeah, let's go. I want to make dinner over here.
most importantly, don't be an NPC.
And keep leveling up, everybody.
That's
Enjoy
it. Keep leveling up.
your lives.
Enjoy your lives. Keep gaming. We'll see you very soon.
Yes, we will.
Thanks, everyone.